With all of this, as we are getting into game number 2, there is going to be a home map for CZs, and it seems like there is definitely gonna be a water, and yes, there is. It's gonna be islands. Yeah, that is a map that I was expecting could be making an appearance, because CZs are very good on water maps, and they definitely know how to play them, and quite probably will be comfortable on them against exactly RFR, because RFRs usually don't play water maps, as far as I remember from RTS League. They usually play normal land maps. And, well, of course, the civilizations, that's going to be Huns, Vikings, Japanese, Saracens, and that's probably going to be the same. Yeah, it's kind of weird, Europe, but... Weird, but still, when you see the other players and some prominent streamers always being even featured at the top, it's just... The way it's done on AOC Zone is all kinds of wrong. All kinds of wrong, and you can kind of see the connection PKZ Viper. It's definitely not helping the community. So let's just leave it at that for the moment, unless it develops somehow further. Hopefully not, and it's going to be fine, as we are looking at the base of Follow Your Mind in here. Follow Your Mind, who is having quite decent gold position, and definitely will not have to worry about it at all. The second gold is gonna be slightly more trickier if he happens to lose the water, but of course on islands, who loses the water, it's kinda toastish anyway. What else do you want to do? And it seems like that it's going to be pretty fair spawn, with the little islands in the middle basically being open to all the players. So it seems like gold mine, stone mine in here, it seems to be basically the same for all. I think that's basically on the Nations Cup maps fairly standard. Not really anything unexpected or unusual and such. Then we are looking at the players, for example, at yellow, and let's see who's going to be playing flanks, pockets, and whatnot. So flanks for CZ Mango this is Skull and Mango, these are the same team. Slaktarn is going to be playing flank as Hans. Not bad, that's okay, that's a flank. Against him is going to be flank of Saracens. That's not that awesome, even though not bad. Saracens usually, at least from what I know, are better in pocket, but shouldn't be bad either on the side. What is actually exactly their bonus? I think they are having bonus, pretty good one as well. Yeah, I think it's very useful. Yeah, it's going to be for the better transport ship, but much more importantly, the galley is attacking 20% faster. So actually on the flank it could be quite useful. So maybe it's going to be even better to be having Saracen on the flank. Otherwise, the other flank on the other part of the map, it's going to be green, Spade and a Saracen. Okay, so the same as Mango. For the other team, it's going to be against Follow Your Might as a Han. Okay, so that's, that's absolutely equal as the remaining players. That means the Vikings with Japanese being in the pocket, especially the Japanese, are going to be really useful to be having there for their fast castles, and the Vikings are going to be fast castling as well. Just the flanks are gonna be going for some galley rushing. At any rate, how's it looking with fishies? I don't see really that many problems. Actually any at all. It seems to be that everybody's going to be quite happy about all the fishies on this map of the spawn, so seems like that all the booms are going to be quite fine. So corner is coming for Skull as the Japanese, on the other side it's going to be Dark Levi's as the Viking. Usually it's better to be having the Japanese in the very pocket for as many fishies as possible because of the bonuses for the fish economy, but it doesn't really matter all that much because of course the other pocket position for Bullet is not that bad. He's at least access to the bottom, so yeah, it's going to be quite alright for him in there. Quite alright in there. Anyways, Doc in the front, of course, for the Saracen Mango, whereas the opponent is going to be coming for which one? For a defensive one. Quite significantly defensive one, so apparently he doesn't want to fight all that much, or he doesn't trust himself, as opposed to CZs. That's good news, of course, for the Czech team at the top, whereas on the left side we are looking at basically the same. Yep, right now Follow Your Might in the front, whereas Spaden at the back, so definitely signaling that RFRs, aka Sweden A, are quite wary about what's gonna come their way, and CZs are even by RFR standards and expectations going to be the favorites for the islands map. So let's move forward in here with how they're going to be scouting. Front position from Yannick is actually quite interesting because he could be going for all the fishies in the back, but he's definitely thinking he will be joining the fight very soon indeed. I don't exactly expect him to be coming for fast, or rather for galley rushing, because in the pockets you usually always go for fast castle, but apparently it might not even be true all that much, because he is already coming into feudal age basically at the same time as Follow Your Might and Mango. Spaden just now click in. He's going to be already way too late. Slaktarn as well. And it seems like that basically the pockets are exactly as expected. Bullet and Dark Levi's coming for the Castle Ages. But yeah, CZ's definitely gonna go for a bit different build-up, and it might be a pretty big surprise when actually all those galleys are going to be all across the map. But let's see, if you play it correctly on 4v4, it's going to be even easier to play it correctly than on 3v3, as the map is just bigger and it takes longer to get anywhere with all the boats. It could even be better to be coming for the 2 Castle Ages, but it's all gonna depend on how well the flanks are actually gonna grow. Because once actually the flanks fall under the pressure too soon, even the Castle Ages are not gonna help you. Even the Castle Ages are not gonna help you, because simply the amount of boats is going to be too big, and once the Castle Ages from the enemies hit as well to help with all the war effort, it's just gonna be too easy for them. So, different strategy. And let's wait what's gonna be better as we are looking around for the second dog being placed for Skull on the corner. Here again, moving in for the boom as much as possible. And yeah, galley rushing for Yannick. Quite a bit surprisingly to me, to be honest. But of course, he's gonna be helping his blue teammate as they're already going with all the boats. And they are going to be trying to basically overpower the flank in just basically one battle. And then make him more or less give up on the water and lose the economy. And probably just kill the economy as fast as possible from the other pockets as well, or the Fonty pocket players, and basically deny them any kind of comfortable castle age, which could be some kind of idea, though not entirely certain it's going to be working that well. In the meantime, some first orange boats all across the map. Ooh, surprise! Oh, okay, and is actually Mango gonna discover it? No, well, he might not. He might not, because this landing is gonna be happening quite without any kind of idea that it could be there. Right now, that's there. He needs to be right now running away. Maybe even just delete it. Maybe even just delete it to not give it away to all those Mango's boats. As the villagers are coming up. Oh, this might not be actually too far away from the coastline. Rather far enough. You can see they are having pretty big line of sight. But unfortunately, Mango is not... this idea didn't even cross his mind, apparently. He has absolutely no idea this could be happening. And oh man, this is gonna be bad news for him. Is this ever gonna be bad news? Because the second gold is also quite far away. Both gold mines are far away from the DC and he's gonna be absolutely crippled. Ooh, this is gonna be even funnier map than I actually thought. And game. But right now he's gonna be discovering, as he's at least right now scouting there. Through this, Mango should be already flaring. As he's gonna be seeing what's gonna be up. That's gonna be archery range. Which of course means that the water is not going to be contested on the right and maybe on the left either. So all of those boats from blue and teal, this is not teal, this is gray, are going to be very easily winning the water battles in there, and potentially just are going to be hoping that, well, Bullet and Dark Levi's are going to be strong enough once they get into Castle Ages, as they are just now advancing. So of course Skull is going to be advancing as well, as Tower is up, as luckily for him, the Scout Cavalry that has discovered this exactly in time is going to be enough, which means that the tower is going to be protecting both the stone and the gold, which means that he's going to be quite fine to protect himself, I think, because he doesn't need to fight for the water at all. He literally doesn't. He has no competition from purple right about now, and from orange at all, so he's quite comfortable with just a few boats, and he can fully concentrate on the land fighting in there, as of course the boats are going to be coming up from the pocket positions that are challenged, but not really all that significantly, as apparently even Spaden is going to be able to deal with 2 opponents at once, quite alright. And yep, right now it's going to be a bit of an issue, and really, I kinda question the decision at the very start from Yannick to not go into the fast castle, but right now it might be even worse than it actually was, because of course he's going to be missing that, even though he does have the numbers right now. The power spike that is gonna come, it's gonna come from Dark Levi's. It's just going to be a bit too big. And it's going to be all up to Skull to be fast enough to at least engage right now with Bullet, so that he cannot join on the left side as well. So we are right now looking at, of course, this attempt, which is gonna be failing. As, of course, without the castle age from Slaktarn, I'm not exactly sure what he wants to do, because he kinda needs it, and unfortunately for him, he has been discovered. He has paying enough attention, as he did figure out the problem that could be coming into his home base, because, of course, since this has failed, it was kinda obvious what might be happening, and of course, Skull, yeah, well, he is too experienced to let that happen. So it seems like that this is going to be just depositing the units back, and killing the transport boat as we are having a bit of a pause. Apparently right now gonna be ending. And is he going to be fast enough or not? Well, he might not have enough boats there to actually stop it. Well, this is gonna be desperate actually attempt to stop this at all costs. He needs to block it somehow. Oh well, yeah, he's missing it. He's absolutely missing it, which means that those few units are going to be arriving in here, which is probably going to be all of it, so probably could be even really fighting it. Not that much of an issue in here, but we must really follow this as well. Was, of course, the war galleys already are prepared on the left side, and that is a big disadvantage for CZs, even as they are just now clicking into castle ages, and that's going to be way too late. And the numbers seem to be going quite alright for RFR so far, so the level battle not really decided all that much, but still going for the RFRs, as here there are plenty of archers with some extra war galleys already from Skull, trying to get rid of them, as the landing at the top didn't really happen yet, it seems like. I'm kinda curious why not. He could have just been annoying to actually the yellow player to stop him and even just force him to invest some extra resources into something that he shouldn't have, as those guys are just going to be journeying around and apparently depositing themselves maybe even into Yannick. Maybe into Yannick, maybe into Follow Your Mind. Definitely both are quite a valid possibility, but right now he has unfortunately stopped, and that means that more guys have been able to catch up, and probably this guy is gonna die pretty soon. In the meantime, some purple boats are trying to get rid of the economy of Mango, as he is forced to actually deal with this, and the number of archers is getting quite dangerous, so Mango should be careful about it still, as he's of course going to be abandoned in the water pretty much, and hoping that Skull is just going to be strong enough, as those dudes are going to be trying to still land somewhere. Plenty of pauses for some reason, not exactly sure why, but it at least gives us extra time to have a look on the left, where the numbers are still pretty decent, but also not half bad for CZs, as they are waiting for their own castle ages. They will basically right now try to stall before they get their own war galleys. Yeah, right now depositing himself, but of course right now if he plays it correctly and kills, at least he should be killing the villages actually faster than the boat. Yeah, it are killing at least this. Killing at least this guy as well, but yeah, those are very much alive, which means that right now Blue is going to be in problems, because he doesn't have anything in there, just one villager, which is definitely not gonna be enough against Archer Scout and the two villagers as well, which definitely means that CZs are in pretty deep trouble, as they cannot defend against this all that effectively. Yeah, that villager number 2. This is something that I would call supreme underestimation by Follow Your Mind. Sending the villages by one, well, finally at least a bit bigger group, but he still lost one. He's gonna lose those two, I'm thinking, Slaktar, but still the challenge is up, and he will have to fully defend against this, which will force him to actually switch into some military buildings, and that's pretty bad news for him. Even though right now it seems like that on the home island of Mango has been able to defend, as I don't see the archers. Oh well, they are still very much alive, so scratch that. Still, Slaktan is very much in the go. This is severely underestimated, absolutely severely underestimated by CZs, and they are hoping that the landings are not going to matter, but, well, if they kill the economy, there is still pretty good chance for RFRs to actually even win the water, because of course they are having the advantage in the faster advances, and it is so far paying off quite well. It so far really is, as Yannick is the only one so far with war galleys. Spaden gonna be getting them as well. And where is actually Blue with his army? Has he lost it already? It almost looks like that he actually did. Yeah, as Yellow is right now going to be fighting against Bullet with a proper 1v1. It seems like he's even having some boats on the right, but they're gonna be countered by those by Skull. But still, Mango finally going back to the water for a bit of engagement, as he's getting into Castle Age. But, well, of course, Slaktan is already there, coming for Cosbowman, Potkinero. Luckily for Mango, he doesn't have villages to actually produce some siege works, but he does. He does have that on Follow Your Mind's island, and that's a pretty big problem, because of course those dudes are just, well, those dudes are for us, Follow Your Mind, so of course they are gonna be helpful, but Follow Your Mind is basically denied any kind of easy game at all right about now. This is actually from Follow Your Mind, curiously enough, as he's trying to fully block all those archer ranges. Interesting idea. Unfortunately, definitely not gonna work because of the stable up. And, well, this is very nice landing by Slaktan, and quite sloppy play, absolutely sloppy play by CZs, not catching up with the transport boat in there, and it's going to be costing them quite a lot of effort to actually get back from that. And might it even cost them the game? It's too soon to call, but it's always going to be a pretty big problem because it seems like that the water is through that little play, through all those landings, and especially the landing at the top, going to be coming fully into RFR's power because CZs are definitely not having enough push in there. Right now, Skull is doing what he can against Purple, even though it's not all that effective, it seems like. As at the top is more or less just Yannick against both Spaden and Dark Levi's, and that's just a bit too much for him to handle right about now. Yeah, as of course Follow Your Mind has to fully concentrate on what is happening in here, and that's just not going to be good enough. Just look at the huge army, and it's already Castle Age army ready right now for Follow Your Mind. And Follow Your Mind with this economy 45 villages, not bad. Slugtown though is having the same, and well, since he's not ready at all, it's always going to be quite hard for the blue player to actually handle this somehow, especially with the town center coming up. This is just basically takeover of the island in full, and gonna be very hard for CZs to win this. But still, first Imperial Age could still be some kind of idea for him. This is going to be Han against Han, trying to build some, help himself with the boats. This is a nice idea that Slugtown should be avoiding, but trying to go for some monks to help him convert at least a few of the knights and deal with those pesky units in there. But the town center, problem number 1 right about now. Anyway, this is still going on. Slugtown is having a few cavalry archers, but nothing really all that major. As finally some siege units are going to be prepared by Mango to get rid of all of this. As we are looking at yellow boats all across the map, waiting for the Imperial Age and for the Galleons as well. In the meantime, on the left, a Dark Levi's with Spaden are just going all around the island. Seeing, of course, that blue is out of the water altogether, whereas Yannick is doing what he can to at least safeguard the boats for some proper numbers, for some fight together with Skull, it seems like, as the water seems to be not really going all that well. Yeah, for Bullet. Bullet definitely seems to be having a hard time, and he will need the assistance from his teammates pretty soon, which could open an opportunity, of course, from Yannick to actually join in the battle and maybe do something significant with it. Let's see. Let us see, yes, of course, this is still growing on and growing, but of course the mangonels are gonna be helping, and it seems like that so far siegeworks are not on the menu for Slugtown, which is of course pretty big problem, I'm thinking, and he should be coming for them sooner rather than later. The TC is also important for the reason that he can replace villages. Yeah, you can see that he's having plenty of them right there already, and well, trying to get rid of the monk apparently, so that he can at least get a few of the cavalry archers and maybe even the knight from the opponent as well. So getting into some pretty good defense and groove right now. Follow Your Mind. Seems like that he's not going to be really denied anything all that much anymore. And on the water, it's going to be all up to Yannick, but looking at this huge amount of boats, yeah, he doesn't have enough in that. And since he needs to also fight on the top side, which is gonna be going a whole lot better, because he's having enough numbers for that, it's going to be up to Skull to somehow get rid of Bullet as soon as possible when he gets the Galleons, and then pass the join into the left side and help his teammate Yannick for the water. In the meantime, Mango is apparently back full with the water as well. He's going to be helping with some war galleys, getting some Potkinero, as he's finally getting rid of all of those buildings, and it's almost looking like that actually Slugtown is giving up on this and going to be fully concentrating on the battle at the top, which is all kinds of interesting. But with all of those mangonels, yeah, pretty good shots in there, it's not gonna be coming for him all that easily, as of course this town center is gonna fall, and with that apparently even all the villages. Oh well, careful there, follow. Follow. But he's killing at least the village, so that's working for him. Well, some extra bows from Yannick could be helpful in here to get rid of this nonsense. So right now, Yannick is finally having a few boats exactly as we expected, going to be helping with those war galleys of 2 of those. So it seems like that villages are basically gone, but it's still not game over for this landing, because of course the monk can be converting a few of them for himself, but with the second TC actually coming up right now, basically to make sure, by Follow Your Mind, that all these resources are going to be his. It seems to be that this attempt is over, and it has been successfully defended for CZ, so good job on that. So let's go back to the water fight, which is probably going to be right now the most important one, as apparently some units have been caught in a crossfire between all the units by Skull and Yannick, and well, they are going to be moving bottom, as apparently Purple is going to be joining into that water fight, because of course he is just alone on the right side, and apparently with the joining of Mango into the fights yet again, it's just a bit too hard for him to handle. Especially since he has just now invested into Imperial Age, but so has Dark Levi's and Spaden. So that's going to be actually 3 Imperial Ages against just 1. And oh man, is that gonna be a power spike on water? Right now, CZs need to push as fast as possible to at least get rid of some of the boats. Right now, Skull is doing at least that, trying to get comfortable in here. But of course, those triple galleons, oh well, that's gonna be hard. Trying to get rid of some economy on the land as well, and maybe, just maybe, at least Mango could be thinking about landing his opponent, because of course Slugtown is still having quite a good economy. Even though he has basically lost the battle in there, he's gonna be ready to maybe sling. No, he's apparently coming back onto the water. So after his engagements on the land, he is definitely looking to still be quite useful in the game. Looking, for example, at the economy, Skull at 103, which is like, well, that's significantly better echo than everybody else. Yannick 72, 65 for Follow Your Mind. Follow Your Mind. The Mango is a 67, right now 68. The opponents are 67, 50, 74, 60. So the economies are, even through just Skull, in absolutely another universe for CZs. So even though they might be getting the advantage through the Imperial Ages, Yannick is coming there as well. It's not going to be really long lasting, and just the sheer economy strength should be coming through for CZs in the next minutes. Yeah, right now getting rid of Bullet, it seems like quite fully, even though he's gonna be rebuilding on the left, I would be expecting. But so far he isn't, but it's not really that far-fetched. But he still will have to be a bit more careful, because there are still boats from yellow, and it's almost looking like that right now CZs are coordinating the efforts and trying to basically make sure that Bullet is going to be out of the water altogether. But I would definitely like already some kind of landing by them or some such, because they somehow really need to finish the players, and unless you land on islands, there still could be a way through that they could be coming back, especially when there is going to be some significant engagement somewhere else. And apparently, oh well, yep, right now Follow Your Mind is going to be using the opportunity of having all the units and even the villages gonna transport them across the strait. And since, yeah, there is nobody that would be scouting this, it's going to be a bit of a nasty surprise for Spaden. So good job with the Imperial Age, but unfortunately for you, it's not gonna do you any good. He's ready at least with a few monks, but it's not gonna do anything significant, because once all those cavalry archers are gonna be unleashed... Oh yeah. I was just waiting for something like this, like a castle into your face. Yeah, nice idea. Brave Spaden. Very brave Spaden, but yeah, be disappointed. This is just not gonna be good enough. As of course, he will be denied this, and that will mean that Spaden is gonna be losing all the economy, and that's gonna be where the GG is gonna be called, because of course Slugtown is gonna be landed as well, exactly as he expected and was thinking it would be a good idea. And a game after very interesting progress, to be honest. The Slugtown's raiding, that was nice, and landing first on Mango, that was nice surprise, then going all the way around through an Odyssey onto Follow Your Mind, another surprise. But unfortunately, it just wasn't good enough. And the strategy from CZs was in the end better. And they have proven that they have chosen the home map quite correctly. So good job. And we are tied at 1-1. So let's check into the post game if there's something interesting for us. Whereas Skull, definitely the most important player through the strong echo and holding the water. Even with Mango missing there. So it seems like that Skull is on fire today. Even in the first game, he was able to hold both Spaden and Slugtown just by himself. So it seems that Skull is going to be the most important player for CZs in this game. Yeah, well, beastly echo. 6,000 more food than the next best. Well, that's not how bad, is it? That's one hell of an echo. One hell of an echo for him. 115 villages, that does that to you. Anyway, GG.